Okay, so someone wanted to see a tutorial about how to delete rows from a table. So this can actually be done using a delete type query. So as the name suggests, it's a query that when you run it, it deletes rows. So let's open up a pre-existing table. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. I just filled in these tables, just simple data entry. So we're going to open up this one. And what you're going to see is like employee first name, employee last name, badge number, hire date. So say for some reason we need to delete someone. Maybe they've been terminated and you've taken their record and you archived it. And so now you need to remove it from your active employee file. So you're going to want to run a query that removes whoever it is that you're trying to remove. In this case, let's just do the top one. We're going to try to remove Rebecca. So let's close the table. Go to Create, Query Design. Now, you can use this if you want, because by clicking on these, you can select what queries you want. However, you can just drag and drop from here. So to me, this is clutter. You can use it if you want. I don't. So what do you want to do? Well, this is the table we want, so let's drag and drop it here. If you point at the corners, you can expand this out if you want. Now, since this is a delete type query, you don't have to bring in all the rows. We're just going to bring in the one that we want. We said we're going to delete based on the name Rebecca. So first, make sure you select the proper type of query because it defaults to a select query. A select query is just going to search based on the criteria. It does nothing other than says, here's the rows that match the criteria you asked for. So you come up to delete, and it changes down here. So field, we selected that field. Table, from that table, delete where, and that is where something happens. So the criteria is Rebecca. We run, get a notification that you're going to delete one row. You can click on yes. Now let's go back to our table. Rebecca's gone. Well, that's an easy enough one when you have a field that can be uniquely identified. Using a first name is not a great idea. I just use that for simple demonstrative purposes. In this example, you'd probably actually be using a field that you flag them as terminated or something like that. But again, it's just as easy to add a field, enter the word terminated, and search by terminated. Functionally, it would be exactly the same thing. But the reason why I'm using this is because I want to show you when you can't do that and what you would have to do to make that work. So let's have, in this case, say there was an error and you have a duplicate employee record. So we have Barry Burton, badge number 88888, hire date 1/1/2002. Well, something happened. And we got a duplicate Barry Burton, same badge number, different hire date because the record was made on a different day. So how do we do this? We could delete, obviously we can't just do Barry, but we can't do Barry Burton either because there's two Barry Burtons. We'd have to base it on something else. So you can do a combination of fields. Now, if you notice, there's one field that is unique between these two, and that is the hire date. This one is 2017. Well, obviously, you can't just delete based on a hire date. Just to make things difficult, I put this person in also as 2017. So you're really looking for a combination of criteria before you delete. So we want to delete this one. Barry Burton, 2017. Now, since there's only one Barry, technically you could do just Barry in 2017, but again, real world situation, be very careful that you're not deleting anything accidental. So here's what we're going to do. We go back to our query. So first name, I'm going to change this to Barry. Last name, Burton. And we said the hire date was unique. Well, at least to the two Barry Burton records, there are other hire dates for that. It was 01/06/2017 /01/2017. Now, if you notice, this is a date field. So when I put in a date, it puts in the pound sign in front of it and behind it. So like when it's text, it does quotes. If it's numbers, it does nothing. If it's a date, it does that. Now, it's important that you read horizontally. So what this is saying is first name is Barry, and, so even though you don't see the word and, last name is Burton, and hire date is this. So if I were to put these on different rows, see how it says or here? Like if I was to move this down here, it would be delete where it's Barry, or delete where it's Burton. And if I was to move the date down, or delete the date. So it would be deleting where any one of those were true. In this case, it's only going to delete where all three are true. So it's very important to know if you want them all on the same line or on different lines. We want it to be all on the same line because this is and. First name is Barry. Last name is Burton. I should say and. Last name is Burton. And hire date is 1/1/2017. So now again, we know how many this should delete. It should delete 1. So let's see what it says. Run. You're about to delete 1 row. Do yes. And let's go back to our table. So there's Barry Burton, and the other one is gone. So you can delete based on multiple rows, and you can see the right one was deleted because this is the old one, the 2002. We wanted to delete the 2017. If you notice, it didn't delete the other person who was 2017. Clearly didn't delete the other person named Barry. Didn't delete the other person whose last name is Burton. It only deleted the one that was Barry Burton 2017. So you can delete based on multiple criteria. Now let's close this and I'll show you one more thing. Like I said, you could do and, or you can do or. So if you were to take these and do this, we're not going to run this, but you'll see how the message is different. Well, we're going to run it, we just won't complete it. See, it's giving you a different message. It's saying 3 rows are going to be deleted. So it would be deleting the remaining Barry row. It'd be deleting, so this is actually redundant because it will delete both Burtons, the remaining Barry and Moira. And this would delete Albert Wesker, who was hire date also 2017. So it's important to differentiate between if you're doing or if you're doing and. So this really demonstrates the difference. So we don't want to do that. We're going to say no. So I think that's about it for this tutorial. It wasn't meant to be very complex. As I said, the basic request was pretty simple. The ask was just, how do I remove fields, or how do I remove rows, how do I remove a complete row from a table? And this is how you could do it. So actually, let's do one more. Let's go back to this. And we'll modify this table, and we'll do EE status, not to be confused with exempt status, and this will be short text. Save it, and here we are, EE status, and we'll do, as I said, terminated, terminated, terminated. And make these active, 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 active. A better way to do the data entry, this is kind of on a side. You really don't want people manually entering if there's only 2 choices. What you really want is you'd want like a drop-down box and they would choose terminate or active. Because if, say, someone accidentally did that, well, active and active with the second E is not the same thing. Okay? So it kind of on a side, but you wouldn't want people doing this kind of data entry. You'd really want this from a drop-down box. You wouldn't want this to be an open edited field. Okay, so let's close that. It's going to say yes, you want to change the layout. Now keep in mind, as soon as you enter a value, once you navigate away from that field, that value is saved. The reason why it's asking about saving, it's not saving the values, is the fact that I widened the status. Okay, so now let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. And again, you don't need to have all the fields. You can have, for this type of query, you can have just the one that you care about. So I think it's because I already have this open. So because if you notice the status isn't there, that's what I'm talking about. So we'll close this. Do you want to save changes? No. Create, query design, close the clutter, delete, bring this over, and there, now EE status is there. Now as a quick reminder, let's go here. So 1, 2, 3 terminated. Delete, terminated. Design, run, delete 3 rows. We know that's correct, at least for a quantity. We do yes, we come back here, and the terminated ones are gone. So again, there's a wide range of reasons why you would do this. Maybe it's a duplicate record that has to be deleted. Maybe, again, you're purging records that have been archived. Maybe this is meant to be like an active table, not an archive table. You've created your archive, so now you have to delete the ones from your active table. There's a variety of reasons, but this gives you the basic idea of how you can delete based on a value in one or more fields. And I think that's about it. If you have any follow-up questions, just let me know, but I think that should do it for this one.